What's up, people? I just want to quickly talk about something I've deemed super important in fighting games and in MK specifically. So, we've played MKX before, and we played MK9. MK9 had very polarizing tier lists. MKX had a little bit more fair tier lists in the sense that everyone basically got to do what they wanted to do. So, I just wanted to quickly talk about how I think it's very important to, when you say characters should be buffed and nerfed, you need to keep in mind the playstyle of the characters and what the characters suffer from. So, for example, just because you buff a character multiple times doesn't mean that the character is still viable or the character is okay. Now, I'm not saying that the character needs to be super buffed. I'm not saying the character needs to have like 20 plus buffs or, you know, a buff every single patch. But what I am saying is that you should look at each individual character and see where they struggle and if they should struggle there and if they shouldn't struggle there. So, for example, Kitana's biggest problem is people mash on her. So if I'm going up against a Scorpion players can legit do this, and I have to back up. Like, I don't have another option here, right? I have to back up, and I think if he's on me, he actually gets 2 down 2s before I can even back up. Yeah. Oh, it depends, I guess. It's probably more guaranteed in the corner, so that's actually pretty good. But the problem that this leads to is, like, it forces Kitana to poke back. And so what Scorpion players will do is they'll down 1 backdash and then punish you. Now, that's not footsies, first of all. That's for a whole nother day. But the other thing is, it makes the game super stale, because basically what you're kind of forced into is to do a down 1 back or to walk back. Now, this could be easily solved if Kitana was just given a 12 frame mid, because if you look here, Scorpion is -6, right? So his next move will come out in 13 frames. So we'll trade, actually. Now, again, this could be easily solved. I get 1 extra frame, or 1 frame shaved off my back 1, and my back 1 becomes a 12 frame mid. And it's -4, so the turn's over. Even if I stagger, it's like -7. So this would be a very easy solution, and it's not even that crazy of a buff. But this is a perfect example of what I mean by characters. Just because they've been buffed 20 plus times doesn't mean that their problems have been fixed. And that's the biggest problem that I feel like a lot of people in the NRS community don't pay attention to. They also need to pay attention to placings. Foxy has been playing Kitana for a while now, but every single time when the going gets tough, he does not play Kitana in tournaments. He goes to Sub-Zero. He'll even go to Robocop. We saw him play Robocop before Kitana in WePlay. I, as an avid Kitana player, I don't play Kitana, I don't main her as much as I used to before. I main multiple different characters now. But as an avid Kitana player who used to play Kitana a lot, like I put thousands of hours into Kitana, I can tell you, I was waiting in WePlay to see Kitana come out. And Foxy never brought out Kitana. Just because you see players play characters doesn't mean that they're viable. And that's one of the main issues that I have, is just because a character is mid-tier does not mean that all of their problems have been fixed, nor should they be considered fixed. Now, I don't know if the devs want her back 2 string to still whiff on jumping opponents, or clip jumping opponents and you get punished. I don't know if they want her to get mashed on. I don't know what their design is. But what I can say is that it's okay to be able to nerf. It's okay to be able to buff low tier characters like Melina, Rambo, Shao Kahn, and also buff certain aspects of characters or change certain aspects of characters that hurt them in the game. For example, Scorpion. Maybe Scorpion should be given a better back 1, or maybe Scorpion should be given a better stagger mind game besides his forward 3. Because that's all you'll see Scorpion players do, what is it, is it back 2? Yeah, they'll do back 2 and cancel it, or they'll do forward 3 or back 1 in the neutral. That's pretty much all they have, right? So why not give Scorpion something else besides the cancels? Why not give him something, like maybe he gets a better stagger than forward 2, or forward 3 and stand 2. Maybe he doesn't have to always cancel his back 2. Maybe Misery Blade allows him to cancel and make it safe. Like, we need more things like that. It's not just Katana, it's multiple different characters that need these different changes to make them not as bland or not get mashed on and not have to deal with ridiculous meta and have some sort of way to fight the meta better. I'm not just arguing from Katana, I'm arguing from multiple characters I've played. Katana is just a good example of, you see multiple buffs happen on a character and then you make the executive decision in your brain that Katana is fine. That's not always the case. You can buff characters multiple times and things just never have changed for the character. And that's a perfect example. Katana is a perfect example. I would argue that, yeah, Katana is probably the best example in this game, particularly because pre-patch, she was very, very bad. So now that people kind of see her a little bit more than they saw her before, they think that everything has been fixed on the character, and that's just not true. Again, I'm not saying don't buff other characters. Definitely look at all the characters, but just because a character's been buffed multiple times doesn't mean that they've been fixed. So, anyway, if you want me to go into more detail, I can. I play multiple low-tier characters, so I know... it's not that I know what I'm talking about, but I'm just speaking from big experience and knowing that even though Katana is more complete than Mileena, Katana is not going to be competing with characters like Jacqui Briggs or characters like Liu Kang. Like, you're just not going to see her compared to those two characters, and it shows in the tournament results. So, anyway, I'll talk to you guys later about this. I could go on about Sonya too and explain her a little bit, but I think we can do that in another day. So, subscribe for more. See you guys later.